Hello, everyone, and welcome to our veterinary medicine info session. We are excited to have you all join us. We have partnered with Loop Abroad and are excited to work together to offer this unique and incredible experience. First, we will start off with team introductions and then get into what makes this program so special. So we'll start off with Jane.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jane Stein. I'm the managing director and co-founder of Loop Abroad. Great to be here talking with you.
Thank you, Jane. Well, my name is Mariah, and I am the program manager for the veterinary medicine program, and I handle communication with Jane and other logistical tasks. I will be the key host for tonight, and just a reminder, if you all do have any questions, please drop them in the chat, and we will get to those as we can. John, we'll pass it over to you.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the assistant program manager. I help support Mariah with a variety of tasks. Just to get us started, I can give you a little background about Envision by World Strides. So for almost 40 years, we've been offering career and leadership opportunities for young scholars, and our programs are designed to be innovative, safe, fun, and empowering. We wanted to provide an option for those interested in the veterinary medicine field, and we knew that Loop Abroad would be a perfect partner with their experience and background in their program. So they're here to help us deliver that experience with you guys. And I'll pass it to Jane to tell us a little bit about Loop Abroad.
Sure. I'm happy to talk about Loop Abroad anytime. As I said, I'm the co-founder of Loop Abroad. We founded it in 2009. So this is our 14th year of providing high quality veterinary and animal programs to students from across the US and around the world. We really are the leader in veterinary travel programs for students. We have students from high school all the way through vet school. And now that we've been around so long, we have alumni at almost every vet school across the US, as well as quite a number of alumni who are vets now and sometimes come back to teach with us. Our academic director is also a veterinarian, so that really helps guide all of our programming and make sure that we're kind of doing the best of the best, working with great partners and getting students really great experience in learning about vet med.
Awesome. Thanks, Jane. Can you also give us some insight on the program benefits for aspiring vet students?
Yeah. Our programs are really designed to help students figure out what kind of profession they want to work in, what area of veterinary medicine they want to work in, and to help them get into vet school. And so we have students who travel with us who don't end up going to vet school, who just want to work in conservation or want to work with wildlife or want to work with animals in a great way, but they're really designed with that student in mind. The veterinary profession is very competitive. There's only 33 vet schools in the US. So you really, want to start building that application and that profile early and learning what a veterinary career is like. So some things we do that are really special are that we have a teaching veterinarian assigned to each group. So students are in small groups and they have a teaching vet from Loop Abroad whose job is to teach them and make sure they understand the material. They get hands-on experience. They sort of get to apply what they're learning in the classroom, ask questions, and learn more about that veterinary career. They also get up to 40 what are called vet hours that they can put on their vet school applications. Now, in most careers, most professional careers, you would not put something you did in high school or even middle school on your application, like to vet school after college. But in this case, you actually would, because these are veterinary hours and they're hard to get, in particular with wildlife, large animal, also clinical hours with small animal as well. So you get to earn those vet hours now, get that experience, get up close with a vet, get experience that you can use looking for internships, looking for other shadowing, and building your pre-veterinary resume as you go forward. And I think the hands-on experience is really key. We do have lecture components to make sure students understand what they're doing, but spending a lot of time doing, since you're there with the veterinarian on site and you have labs, necropsy, suturing, microscope labs, and all sorts of handling protocols to make sure that you are getting that hands-on experience that makes your time so worthwhile.
Awesome. Sounds like this program is very beneficial and allows students to gain experience that they might not find somewhere else. So Jane, can you also tell us about some of the program spotlights?
Yeah, so we're talking about a number of different programs. I talk a little quickly, so sorry if I go too fast, but I want to give you a little snippets of each program. So our zoo program at the Texas Zoo is a really amazing chance to work with lots of different animals. Texas Zoo is fairly small, but that means you get to use the whole thing as a zoo classroom, and you get quite a lot of access when you're there with your teaching vet team. So they have reptiles, birds, mammals, all kinds of different animals to learn from and with. Some what are called large animals in vet med, like farm animals, some exotics, and some wildlife. So you really get, of the sort of 6 areas of animals you're looking for veterinary experience with, you get experience with 3 of those in this program, which is a ton. And you get a lot of hands-on and up-close experience. So that program's great. We have 2 programs in Costa Rica. The Rescue Center program is a wildlife program. The Rescue Center is an active rescue, rehab, and release center with a working clinic. So you're living on site there. There's amazing cases coming in. There's all kinds of stuff to do. Birds and reptiles again, as well as small mammals and primates. Lots of interesting stuff to do. They do have a sloth nursery on site and a sloth rehab program, which is always a really amazing part of the experience. We also have a program focused on a dog sanctuary in Costa Rica. It's with a sanctuary called Territorio de Zaguates, which is also referred to sometimes as Land of the Strays, which you may have seen in the Netflix show Dogs, or in any of their many viral Instagram videos. They have 1,800 dogs, which, if you have any experience taking care of 1 dog or 2 dogs, you might think how difficult it would be and how much work it would be to take care of 1,800 dogs that live outdoors in a tropical setting. So there is a ton to learn working with those dogs, with your teaching veterinarians, lots of hands-on experience available because they're companion animals and they don't mind, being held and worked with. You also get to visit the Rescate Wildlife Center, which is a nice rescue center right in San Jose that has lots of amazing animals to learn from. And they really do great work in reintroducing animals into the wild. Then we have 2 programs in Belize. Sometimes people don't know where Belize is. Belize is a small, very small country. The population of the country of Belize is smaller than the population of the city of Boston. So it's on the Caribbean Sea. It is still over 50% rainforest. It's home to the second biggest barrier reef, coral reef in the world after the Great Barrier Reef. So it has a lot of amazing wildlife and a lot of really interesting culture to learn there as well, although the official language of Belize is English. So all the programs and all the folks you learn with will be taught in English, and it's a totally accessible place to visit. The 2 programs there, one is focused again in what we call large animal, which is really horses, beef cattle, dairy cattle, pigs, sheep, and goats. This is with one of the head veterinarians in the country of Belize, going out and visiting farms in like a farm classroom every day and getting all sorts of hands-on experience caring for those animals. Large animal experience is really valuable in applying for vet school. And there are a lot of jobs in the veterinary profession that involve working with large animals or horses. So this is a really good experience both to have for your path toward vet school and for shadowing jobs in the future, maybe at farms near you, to show that you have that experience, and also to understand what that piece of the veterinary career might look like. And our other Belize program is a wildlife health and conservation program. If you're interested in conservation, if you love wildlife, if you want to know about research, if you have that passion to sort of save animals and protect wildlife, this is an extremely cool program. The focuses there are on conserving jaguars and conserving primates, including howler monkeys, which are 2 of the areas where Belize focuses a lot of resources and conservation. You'll visit the Belize Zoo, which has been really instrumental in conserving jaguars in Belize, and then learning about all kinds of field work and research methods. This is a really helpful program if you think you're going to study any kind of sciences or field sciences in college, and you want to have experience understanding what that looks like, what different kind of research looks like. It can help you set you up to know what to do when you're applying for jobs in labs or in field work, and sort of understand different careers in wildlife.
Wow, that sounds so exciting. I wish I could go to all of them, honestly. But I had the privilege of being a veterinary technician for a couple of years. So I got the chance to work with small animals, just dogs and cats. But I know that we had to abide by, certain guidelines and standards. What does Loop Abroad have in place for animal care and CSR standards?
Yeah, I mean, I think as one of the sort of leading programs when it comes to students working with animals around the world, this is something we take really seriously, and something our academic director, who's a veterinarian, takes really seriously, in putting the safety, the orientations, the training into place so that students are safe and so that the animals are safe. We always want to follow the APVMA guidelines. That's the American Pre-Veterinary Medical Association, as well as the American Veterinary Medical Association. Our programs are designed for students who want to go to vet school. So we want to have experiences that vet schools are going to look at and think are great. And so that means only having students do what vet schools would consider appropriate for you to be doing with animals. We do want to have programs to be as hands-on as possible. But when you work with wildlife and exotics, you can't have any handling that's at the expense of the animal. So you can do shadowing, you can do observing the vet, you can learn safe handling, you can do restraint sometimes for necessary medical procedures. And then when you're working with dogs and cats, which are companion animals, or farm animals, livestock, large animals, you can have a lot more hands-on interaction with each animal because they're domesticated. So you will have lots of opportunities to be hands-on, but you always want to have the training in place, the orientation in place, the supervision in place to make sure that all those interactions that are happening are safe for the student, safe for everybody in the room, and safe for the well-being and the welfare of any animal that you're working with.
All right, thanks, Jane and John. Next, I will talk about the important safety and travel information. For all of our locations, there will be staff from Loop Abroad and World Stride supporting operations. Room checks will happen every night and staff members are available as needed. For our international locations, they do require an overnight stay in Houston, Texas. Valid and up-to-date passports are required to travel to and from Costa Rica and Belize. Students will fly into IAH, the airport in Houston, and meet the rest of the group at a designated airport location. Once all students have arrived, the group will travel to a nearby hotel. International travel will be done as a group the next day, and that group flight from Houston to destination is included. Envisioned by World Strides will always have a staff member traveling with the students, so keep that in mind. As far as currency goes, US dollars are fine for both Belize and Costa Rica. Everywhere we'll take them, but we recommend bringing bills no higher than $20. There will be ATMs nearby, but just keep in mind there will be a fee attached to that use. Jane, if you don't mind talking about some feedback maybe from students from the past. I know you've traveled to these locations as well.
Sure. So I will start by saying that Loop Abroad programs were designed initially and still are designed for students who maybe don't have lots of travel experience. We have plenty of students who've traveled quite a lot, and the programs are still great in that case, but we have students every year who haven't ever traveled outside the country without their parents. We have students every year who've never been on an airplane before. And so, you know, folks find these programs because they really want this veterinary experience, and sometimes the travel may seem new to them or something that they need to do for the first time, but there is someone with you every step of the way. There's someone picking you up at the airport. There's someone orienting you to the housing. There's someone on site all the time. There's someone helping you figure out. So you're not navigating the travel on your own in any way. You're learning all the vet med stuff for the first time. That's plenty to learn while you're there. The first time I actually lived abroad for any period of time was in Costa Rica, and I was nervous before I went because I'd never lived abroad before, but I really found it to be a welcoming and wonderful place to spend time. Belize, I get to go to, fortunately, all the time to work with programs there. It's a really wonderful place to explore, and maybe a place that you don't have friends or family who've been yet, but once you visit, you definitely want to go back. I've traveled to 102 countries in total at this time, and Costa Rica and Belize both are very high up on my list of places to visit and visit again. And I think students feel that again and again. We have lots of students returning this summer, coming back to Costa Rica who've even already been there with us.
Great. Sorry.
Nope, you're good. Jane, if you don't mind, can you talk about the housing and accommodations, packing needs, things like that?
Yeah. So remember, we're talking about 5 different programs. So I'm going to be a little bit general. You can get more specific information, and there is an open Q&A. So if you have any questions as we go along, just go ahead and chat those in. A real person who's here talking could answer you. And if you have specific questions about, like, in this country, what it's the housing like, et cetera, we're always happy to answer those. We want you to feel comfortable and safe. But to give you a general feel, when it comes to packing for the trip, there are not a lot of special, there's not special equipment or special clothing or gear you need. It's very similar to packing for summer camp, with the exception that you will need a passport if you're leaving the United States. The dress code in general is casual and comfortable for working outside. You're talking about going to either Texas or the tropics in summer. It is warm. It's the rainy season in Costa Rica, which means in the evening times, it often rains for a little while, which is nice because it cools things off. But you're also going to be working with animals all day. So you're going to expect that your clothes will get dirty, will get ripped, will get pretty wrecked. Don't bring your nicest clothes, but you want to be covered up and you want to be cool, right? To protect yourself from mosquitoes, to protect yourself from animals you're working with. So t-shirts and lightweight pants is the easiest. But there's other options available. You can see in the picture here, she's wearing scrubs, which are a great option because they're lightweight and they're pretty rough and tumble and easy to get dirty. You have cell phone service available everywhere. You have Wi-Fi available everywhere, but we'll talk a little about what that might look like in some countries. So let me talk about Texas first. For the Texas program, you're in Victoria, Texas. You're staying on a college campus, so sort of simple dorms might be what you'd expect. There is a swimming pool there. You do have Wi-Fi, you have cell phone service, you're quite near the zoo. So that program might be the easiest to envision what to expect because it's a dorm on a college campus. In Costa Rica, the rescue center program, you living at the rescue center. So what's awesome about that is if a patient comes in late in the evening or early in the morning, you're on site. If, for example, the baby sloths need to be fed early in the morning, someone might be assigned to those rounds. So there's something really cool about living on site. But living on site means you're living at a wildlife center outside of the city, right? So Wi-Fi might not be as strong. Cell phone service might not be as strong, especially if it's raining. Rooms are not quite as fancy, but they're nice. You're going to be in shared rooms with other students of the same gender, shared bathrooms. So rustic accommodations, but perfectly nice. For the dog program, you're staying in a simple hotel. Then in Belize, most housing is in guest houses, which are fairly simple hotels, usually have 2 to 3 students in a room, twin beds, and a bathroom. They'll have breakfast on site. A nice chance to sort of enjoy and explore the local culture, but all the trappings of home that you need to be comfortable and get a good night's rest. So not fancy hotels, but appropriate for where you're staying with all the access that you need.
Great. Well, now that everybody's excited, I guess everyone's looking for the next steps. Quick heads up, we're offering a $350 grant towards any June session. So if you enroll in June, you'll automatically receive a $350 grant. We do have additional scholarships and grants available for other locations. And for more information, you can go to our website or you can scan the QR code there on the screen. Yeah, and also keep in mind that our enrollment deadline is May 31st. So wanted to thank everybody for spending a little bit of time with us today, and we'll take any additional questions in the chat, and we look forward to seeing all of you at one of our vet locations this summer.